I'll make sure it's working. All right, all right, all right. Well, welcome everybody to our amazing, awesome, incredible training we have scheduled for you. Hey, Karen, how you doing way over there on the East Coast?
I am doing awesome. It is a beautiful day. It is not 3 million degrees and 100% humidity. So yay, I'm very happy about that.
Good. It's 3 million degrees here, but we never have humidity.
Oh, no, it was, yesterday we had a high of 76 with like no humidity. It was beautiful.
Oh, fabulous. Lucky you, lucky you. Well, you're
I
getting into
know.
that weather now. I wonder what's going to happen when it starts to cool off a little and then everyone wants to eat outside.
We've been doing it with no problem. May the
Yeah.
rest of the country and the rest of the world have the same experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome everybody. We're really glad you're coming in. If you're coming in late, if you tend to come in late, we will try to catch up with you. And we are going to record this and repost it. So if for some reason you have to scoot out. But I'm really excited you're here. My name is Patti Sampson. I am a real estate broker in Arizona and also a CRM and drip campaign specialist. For those of you who don't know me, I'll tell you more about me in a little bit. And our special guest, and Karen, I'm her guest, she's my guest in our group. So, Karen, how are you?
I am terrific. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Karin Carr. I am a realtor in Savannah, Georgia, and I get all of my business from my YouTube channel. I've become a little quote unquote expert in video marketing. And on this webinar, I'm going to teach you how you can do the same thing that I'm doing.
I love it, love it, love it. Well, Karen and I have known each other for a little while, and we have never met personally. We tried this past April, but then COVID got in the way. We're excited to be able to be together with you today. We become great, fast and furious friends, and we're really happy to be here to share our knowledge and experience working in the real estate industry in different ways. So we have so much to do, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. And you can go ahead and ask any questions you have. If you would take 1 minute, everybody, are you excited to be here? Are you excited? Because if you are, I want you to post down there in the comments and tell us, number one, you can hear us fine and that you're excited about this training, because we want to know you're here, okay? So far, we are pushing about 65 of over 300 and probably 60 people that signed up for this. So we're so happy you're here. So let's go ahead and get started. We just have a little bit of information we want to chat with you about first. As you guys know, we are here for the community YouTube video and follow-up course or training and lessons. So one of the reasons Karen and I really want to talk about this is that we believe that some of the best, strongest real estate leads you can get are going to be as a result of creating community videos. And then how are you going to capture that business? So we're going to talk about that and then follow up and then actually close on it, right? So that's, Karen's going to talk about the video side because she's the pro. And then I'm going to step in and talk about the name collecting, the follow-up, and then, you know, the best ways for us to actually get people to convert after setting up a follow-up system, right? So really quick though, I just want to talk about the importance of what we're going to talk to you and why this is so key for your business. If you're out there right now trying to generate leads through, say, Facebook ads or buying leads from Zillow or any of those lead sources out there, and you're struggling, you're going to find this to be so powerful. And so I'm going to talk really quickly over a few screens about why this is so important for you to do this type of lead generation. Not only is it free once you learn how to do it, obviously you're going to spend some time learning to get it set up, but you're going to have so much more valuable contacts in your database. So one of the reasons is you're going to have more passion for what you're doing when you're selling something that you have knowledge about. So if you know your community, you can easily talk about it. You can easily sell it. You will also get some consumers who are farther along in their journey. And so why is that? Because we know they're out searching for something specific. And what they're searching for is something about their community. So either they're going to list a home or they want to buy one in that community. So how much farther along are they? Because they're searching specifically for that. With YouTube and Google searches, people are looking for answers. And guess where they're going to get those answers from? They're going to get them from you, because you're going to provide those answers for them. You know, in your world, how often you get asked certain questions in your community and when you're going to sell stuff. Those are the kind of things that you're going to want to create. And Karen's going to talk about that even in more detail. I know I live in Arizona, and I want to ask Karen this really quick. I live in Arizona. I get a ton of questions about how many snakes am I going to be concerned about when they move here. Karen, in your neck of the woods, what is that kind of question that you get all the time when you're trying to solve a problem for somebody?
Alligators. Do we have lots of alligators? They think that they're just roaming free in the neighborhood and that they're going to eat all our dogs or something.
Yeah, but I mean, and I guarantee you probably have done something about alligators or said something about alligators at some point in your videos,
yes,
right?
Absolutely, we did.
When you answer questions in your videos, you solve their problems, and your job is to add value to that. When you're solving a problem, you're adding value. So that's what we want you to do every step of the way, not just in the video, but even afterwards when you collect their name and information. And then what happens is that you naturally create a much more meaningful conversation, which is going to equal a better connection with the people, right? They're already going to be falling in love with you because you're already the pro in their eyes. You've sold them and you on your services even before you talk to them. And I see this over and over again from all the people in the YouTube group and in my own world, helping real estate agents from coast to coast to use their CRMs, to talk about drip campaigns. People every single day tell me, I found you on YouTube. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're selling. If you do a good job, they're going to already love you, right? So Google owns YouTube. And so what happens is you gain an army of followers organically when you put these two together. And it can be free if you do it right. So you can create highly focused follow-up content and niches specific to specific website pages. So what's better about being able to niche market like this is that you can actually zero in a little better before you start posting your landing pages and your offers to follow up with content that they actually care about. So if you cast a net over the entire city and then try to communicate with that lead who's never heard of you before, and you won't know what to say to them. You're not going to be able to zero in. So we really want you to stop spending that sending out that generic crap that most agents are sending, because all they have are crappy drip campaigns that aren't relatable at all to what they signed up to get or what they're interested in. So when you can do this, you already know what they want. Makes it way easier. And the best part about it all is that most agents are not doing this. There's little competition in your niche. If you go and do a YouTube search for yourself or for your community and go look at the people. Lately, I've been looking at ones in my neighborhood, and those people, there are videos in here, but they're mostly old, stale listing videos from a long, long time ago. Does that happen in your neighborhood, like in your area, Karen? Like when people are, old, nasty videos. You're on mute still, honey.
Sorry about that. Every time I try to click on a comment in Facebook to answer their question, it starts playing the audio with a 10-second delay. And I'm trying to not have dual sound.
Oh, I hear you. Okay. I'll see if I can figure it out when I'm in there too, because you're going up next, but I'll go in and, is everyone getting in okay? Can they hear us?
They are. Okay? It's just that when I go to answer any of the questions in the comment, it expands it and it starts to play the audio, and I can't figure out how to turn the sound off. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
No problem. I'm still talking anyway.
Okay, good. If I go in and I want to comment on something someone said and I reply,
you'll figure it out. Well, you're still, okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish up while you're trying to figure it out. So here's what we're going to do today. I've got this little cycle, the community video lead magnet to conversion cycle. So we're going to talk about these things, and hopefully it's going to work. First, we're going to talk about preparing your irresistible offer. Well, not first, but this is the cycle. Karen's actually going to talk about the videos first, but the cycle of what you have to do is to prepare your irresistible offer. You got to figure out what it is you're going to get people to sign up for. You're going to create a page on your website or house to actually house the lead magnet. So we got to find somewhere to put it. And we ideally want you to put it somewhere that's in a URL that they can actually click on, and I'll tell you why later. You're going to create your lead page, the squeeze page, the landing page, right? So you need to have software for that. We're going to talk about that. And then building the niche drip campaign that will match up with your offer. And the key to this is that you're actually going to automate it and send out what the people asked for. This is a novel idea that when people sign up, you're actually going to send them what they signed up to get, and then also stay in front of them long term. And before you do before you even think about creating your video and doing it, well, I shouldn't say think, before you start to do your video, you've already thought in your mind, what's my perfect client look like? What's this video have to be? What kind of landing page offer would go with this video? So we want you to have all of these things set up before you get to actually posting your video. So you've got your link ready to go, and all of this is going. How many times, and I bet Karin can tell you about this in her training that she does, is like, how many times you've gone out and posted a video and then you don't have any offer ready or you have no way to actually collect names from people. So we want you to have this whole part set up first, then get your video up. And then we're going to talk about follow-up. What are we going to do? We're going to call the lead. We're going to send listings regularly. We're going to turn them on that campaign, which by now has already been turned on, and automate everything. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Are you guys excited about this? I hope so, because I am. All right, are we ready to rock and roll?
I am ready to rock and roll.
Take it away. Okay, so what I'm going to do is stop sharing so Karin can take over, all right? So we're going to go ahead and take over.
You have to enable screen sharing.
I have to enable screen share. Okay, that might help. So what you stop sharing. So I was on stop sharing, right? Is it not working now? Doesn't work for you?
It says host disabled.
Oh, how dare I? Okay, let's.
I know.
Yeah.
It's an automatic
it's the
setting
Zoom thing.
Zoom. I know. Good old Zoom.
Fun
fact, we were going live, and when Patty logged in, she's like, oh, the entire Zoom interface has been upgraded since the last time I logged in, which was probably yesterday.
Yeah.
So yay, that's always fun.
Okay, I'm making you the co-host. You're off.
Awesome.
I'm going to mute myself now.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to make this as big as I possibly can so that we can see it. All right. I think most of you probably know who I am, but if you don't, like I said, my name is Karin Carr. I am a realtor in Savannah, Georgia. I love YouTube so freaking much that I wrote a book about it. It's called YouTube for Real Estate Agents, and it is a whopping 99 cents for the Kindle version. If anybody would like to get it, it's also in paperback and audiobook too. But today we're going to be talking about how you can make videos that are more than just branding. They're more than top of mind awareness that actually get your phone to ring. The counterintuitive way to get more leads, and the biggest mistakes that I see people are making when it comes to video marketing. Because I don't know about you, but I did not become a realtor so that I could be a telemarketer. And calling FSBOs and expireds for 2 hours a day is not my idea of a good time. So why should you listen to me? My whole backstory is very long and convoluted, but the gist of it is that I have moved markets 4 times in 5 years or something ridiculous like that. I went from Northern California to Hilton Head, South Carolina, to Atlanta, to Savannah in a very short period of time. And every time I moved, I had to start over again. So I tried all the things. I tried posting on Craigslist and Facebook ads and blogging and farming and postcards and door knocking and every door direct mail and Facebook ads. And, you know, I didn't really have a sphere to call because I kept moving to a new area. So circle prospecting, you know, all of this stuff. And then what happened? Well, I started making YouTube videos and suddenly my freaking business blew up. We now get leads every single day from people that say, we found your YouTube channel. We feel like we know you already. We want to hire you. And this is the sort of lead we get. I love this one in particular because it came in after COVID had started. And it said, you know, just when I decide to relocate to Savannah, boom, we go under lockdown. This is probably the worst time in the history of ever having to move cross country, but we're going to do it anyway. Are you able to be our realtor? That's my favorite sentence in this whole thing. Wasn't I'm interviewing lots of people and you're one of them. Give me the spiel. Are you going to give me a rebate on your commission? If it's a listing lead, it's not, I'm going to go with whoever will do it for the cheapest. They're saying, I've already chosen you. Will you please take my money? And you say, yes, I would be happy to. And did I mention that YouTube is free? So secret number one to making YouTube work for you as a lead gen strategy is that the videos that rank highest on YouTube are not about your listings. Please, for the love of God, stop going on YouTube and then saying, here I am at my open house and just showing this house. That's not what people are looking for when they go to YouTube. They are not looking for houses. They're Googling general real estate information because they want to learn about a specific subdivision, a community, a city, a town, an area. So community videos are amazing to put on YouTube. And the best part is that they live forever. If you do an amazing community video and you put it on Facebook, it'll be gone in 3 days unless you pay to advertise it. But if you put it on YouTube, it lives forever. In fact, I was doing a Zoom call with somebody this morning. One of the videos we found when we were searching for what kind of videos were available in her area, one of the ones that showed up on page one of the YouTube search results was 10 years old. That's like when YouTube was brand new in its infancy, and it's still showing up on the first page of search results. So don't overthink it. You just need the bare minimum of equipment. Use your smartphone. The camera on your smartphone is awesome. I do recommend that you get an inexpensive microphone. And by inexpensive, I think $20 or $30 at most is more than enough. The first microphone I got was $12.99 and it worked for a very, very long time before it finally fell apart. You need some decent lighting. So I'm facing a window. I don't have any lights on in my office. I'm truly sitting in the dark except for the little light up stuff in the background for ambiance. This is all just natural light coming in through the window in my office. If you can face the window, boom, there you go. That's great lighting. If you don't have a window and you're filming in your basement or something, you can buy a couple of cheap lights, a ring light, but just something so that they can see you clearly. And then something to hold the phone. So an inexpensive tripod, or set it up on a bookshelf and like lean it against the book so it's nice and stable and it doesn't move. Don't hold it in a selfie stick because no matter how stable you think your arm is, it shakes a little bit and we want it to be nice and steady. So you don't need a ton of stuff. If you're going to be out walking around showing the neighborhood, what this guy has in the picture is great. It's called a gorilla pod. The three thingies open up and it becomes a tabletop tripod. Then you close them back up and now it's just a handle. More than enough. And those are probably 10 or 15 bucks all over Amazon. So I've learned that hyper local content, meaning videos about your town, your city, the neighborhoods, school districts, all of that kind of stuff works very, very well on YouTube. And you don't have to show any of your listings. Here's a great example. I typed in moving to Savannah, Georgia this morning on YouTube, and here's what shows up. The first video is mine. The second video is mine. The third one is a travel vlogger. The fourth one is an agent in my office. I taught her how to make these videos, and now she's ranking on the first page as well. And then the fifth video is mine. So of the first 5 videos that show up on YouTube in a search result, 3 of the 5 are mine. You can totally dominate your search area by making community videos. And you'll notice that none of these are about listings. They are about why you will like it here. Don't go here before you know these things, and pros and cons. Those types of videos, which I consider to be community videos because they're all about living in your community, have shown to perform very, very well for almost all of my coaching students. Secret number 2, in order to attract more leads, you need to target fewer people. I know it's kind of an oxymoron, but hear me out. When you try to be all things to all people, you end up being nothing to no one. So you really need to pick a specialty. And for me, when I moved to Savannah, I wanted to target military families that were moving here from out of the area. They're online, they're doing Google searches, they're trying to research what it's like to live in Savannah and hopefully buy a house when they get here. So I did not try to target anybody who wants to buy or sell any type of property in my entire metro area. I was going after military relocating buyers, right? That's it. It is one one ideal person that meets those 3 criteria. So the students I have that are all doing this at a very high level, they all have a very specific niche. So if we're targeting this down to community type videos, what could that be? It could be your farm area. I have a student that lives in Anthem, Arizona. That is her whole target market. Not all of Metro Phoenix, not Scottsdale and Phoenix and Tucson. It is one master planned community. That is her audience. She gets a lead outside of Anthem. She gives it away to somebody else. She is that specific. It could be a type of home. What if it's only beach homes and all of your community videos are about living by the beach, or log cabins, or tiny homes, or urban lofts, whatever it could be. It could be a specific type of client, first-time millennial buyers, people who are empty nesters, they're downsizing, any different type of niche that way. Professions. Did you used to be a police officer before you became a real estate agent? Maybe you decide that you're going to talk specifically to first responders because that's what you did in a previous life. And so you are uniquely qualified to talk about their challenges because you've been there, done that yourself. It can be a specific type of transaction, a short sale, probate, etc. So I really, really, really like having some sort of specialty for your channel's content that positions you as the go-to expert. And then secret number 3 is that YouTube is not social media, it's a search engine. And if you did not know that Google owns YouTube, put it in the chat. I want to see how many people did not know that. Google has owned YouTube for a very long time. YouTube is a search engine the exact same way that Google is. And the number 1 search engine in the world owns the number 2 search engine in the world, which means if you have a great performing video on YouTube, it shows up on Google search results organically, totally for free, without paying for any ads. So the mistake I see here is that people will make videos about what they want to talk about. I was reviewing a channel earlier today. She was making like fun DIY videos that were about health and nutrition. And it was like, but the person who is Googling doing a sugar detox, that doesn't mean that they want to buy or sell a house. So yes, it's a very entertaining video and it's very like educational. And it's awesome to watch. But you are trying to attract someone that wants to buy or sell a house in your market. So you've got to make content that they are looking for that indicates that they're looking to buy or sell a house in your market, right? So how do we figure out what they are looking for? Here is an example. I searched Rincon, Georgia. Rincon is a suburb of Savannah. That's where I live. So you can see the first 3 videos that show up are my videos, and they're all about living in Rincon. When you do this kind of keyword research to see what people are searching for in advance, and then you go make a video about that topic, that's when you start to dominate the search results like this in YouTube. So don't spend all of your time making videos and then put them on Facebook and Instagram. Put them where people are searching for them, which is Google. Don't neglect YouTube. And this is my favorite tip for being able to research what people are looking for. It is a plugin for Chrome and Firefox. It's called Keywords Everywhere. If you go to keywordseverywhere.com, it's $10 for 100,000 search credits. That'll probably last you a year. You say, okay, I want to make a video about neighborhoods in Pooler, Georgia. And can you see right below the Google search bar, it says volume 20 a month, competition 0.22. What that means is that 20 people a month are typing that exact phrase into the Google search bar. Neighborhoods in Pooler, Georgia. The competition is 0.22 on a scale of 0.01, which is the lowest, to 100, like 0.99. So the competition is low at only 22, but it doesn't really get a lot of search volume. I mean, only 20 people a month are looking for neighborhoods in Pooler, Georgia. But on the right-hand side of the screen, they say, here are some other ideas that people are searching for. Savannah Quarters is the name of a very high-end gated community in Pooler, Georgia. Gets 1,900 searches a month versus 20. And yes, if you search Savannah Quarters, you're going to see my videos right there. Forest Lakes, it's in the name of the community in Pooler, Georgia. Godly Station School, they're looking for Pooler, Georgia homes for sale. So when you're able to do this kind of research and say, oh, wow, 1,900 people are looking for videos about Savannah Quarters. Oh my gosh, like, I need to go make a video right now about Savannah Quarters, because that's 1,900 people that are raising their hand and identifying the fact that they're interested in living in that neighborhood. So why wouldn't you go make a video about it when you know there's that many people that are interested in the topic? And then lastly, my bonus secret: don't ask for the sale. I know this goes against everything that we've been taught. You got to do a trial close, not once, but 3 times. You got to ask for the sale and always be closing. But people don't go to YouTube to watch commercials. They don't really go over very well. They want to be entertained. They want to learn something. They want to be inspired. And if you can do 2 or all 3 of those things in a video, it's going to kill it on YouTube. So you don't have to tell them that you're a GRI and you got your CDPE and you've been licensed for 28 years and you listed your client's house and it got 17 offers over asking within the first 4.5 minutes, and you sold it for $100,000 more than the asking price. Like, you don't have to make it all about you and your skills and your accomplishments. And instead, you are just being the helpful guide. You're telling them all the stuff that they wanted to know. You're letting them know what this neighborhood is like, this town, this city is like, what it's like to live here, why people enjoy it here, how far it is from other places. Let them know these things without coming across as a real hard sales pitch. So and then Patty totally alluded to this earlier, in order to get them to opt into your database, like totally voluntarily, you got to offer them something of value. I love to give them free guides, a moving checklist, a buyer's guide, staging tips, relocation guide, anything that somebody says, oh my gosh, that would be really, really helpful. And they will voluntarily give you their name, their email, and their phone number in order to get that thing in exchange. Now, these are not super time consuming to create. And in Patty's program and in my program, we offer them for free to our students. But even if you don't sign up with either of us and you're just going to make them on your own, they're not that complicated. Just spend the time thinking, if I were going to live in this neighborhood, what would I want to know? What would be helpful for me? And then make like a 1-page, 2-page checklist, slap your logo on it, your contact information, make it look pretty, download it as a PDF, and now you offer it to them at the end of the video, because when they fill out that form to get their thing, they go into your CRM and now they're a lead. Now you can follow up with them. If they watch your videos, but they never contact you, you have no way to follow up with them other than hope that they subscribe to your channel and they'll keep watching your videos. Once they opt into your database, now you can follow up with them. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, right? So takeaway number 4 is that if you're fortunate enough that your video shows up in the search results and they click on it, you're totally going to blow it if you make it a real hard sales pitch and talk all about yourself and all of your accomplishments and how great you are. Pretty much don't talk about yourself at all, except in passing. Like, welcome back to my channel. My name's Karin Carr. I'm a realtor in Savannah, Georgia with Keller Williams Coastal Area Partners. In today's video, we're talking about, and the only reason I said that was because I had to, in order to not get in trouble with my real estate commission. So introduce yourself and then move on. Don't give like a 3.5-minute intro of who you are. And that is how you win on YouTube. So to recap, make videos that are about your communities, niche down and try to figure out who your ideal client is, and then make content that is directly for that person. Not anyone and everyone, that person. Figure out what they're searching for and then make content to answer those questions. And don't be salesy in your videos. Just be super helpful. Be yourself on camera. Let them get to know, like, and trust you. And soon you will be pulling in leads like crazy. So thank you for being here. My website is youtubeforagents.com if you want to check anything out, but I'm going to put it back to Patty now and let her continue.
Well, before we do, I want to ask you some questions because
yeah.
I am an interested agent in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I'll be honest and tell you, I've been a little busy with my other consulting business. I have yet to do any major videos in my neck of the woods. But let me ask you a couple, and you don't have to tell us every bit of this, but how many videos do you think you've made? And how long did it take you to get maybe your first lead when you first started doing this?
So I started making weekly videos for YouTube in June of 2017. I had literally just moved to Savannah the week before. So I was brand new in my area. I had no business. I had no clients. All I had was free time. And I figured I'm going to make one video a week. In 3 months, I got a come list me phone call.
Wow.
A couple weeks later, I got another come list me phone call. Then I started getting buyer leads. Then they started coming more and more frequently. I don't really understand exactly why it works this way, but it takes a long time to get your first lead. And then it takes less time to get the second lead. And then it takes less time to get the third lead. And it's like rolling a snowball downhill where the snowball gets bigger and bigger, but because it's rolling downhill, it's also accelerating. And then pretty soon you're like, oh my gosh, we're getting leads every single day. This is insane.
And so,
and then as far as the number of videos on my channel,
yeah,
I think we have around 200. So that sounds like a lot, but that is one video a week for the last 3.5 years, plus listing tours. So when I get a new listing, I always make a video for the listing and I put that up there in addition to the weekly video. So sometimes it's 2 a week, occasionally it's 3 a week, and then many times it's just 1 a week for a long period of time. Because we get a lot more buyer leads than seller leads because we are making content for military buyers who are relocating to Savannah. That's very intentional.
You know, it's the community video that is community to the veterans and the military, right? That's amazing.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean that we never get seller leads, but we get fewer. We probably get 30% sellers, 70% buyers because of the content that we're intentionally putting on the channel.
Yeah, but you know, I think when you're going after those buyers, you end up attracting the sellers because they live in those neighborhoods. They're like, I'm trying to find somebody that can help me sell my house. This agent seems to know what she's talking about when you're talking about the community. So
they get to know, like, and trust you. And instead of just doing a Google search where they say realtors near me and they see whoever shows up in the Google My Business with like the most 5-star reviews, but there's nothing like you can't get to know the agent. You're just reading their reviews. But if I'm watching video after video after video and I like you, I'm going to keep watching. I start to trust you. And then when I got that come list me phone call, I didn't know that that's what it was. I was like, oh my God, I got a listing appointment. Woo! And I've only lived here for a couple of months and I'm so excited. And I showed up ready to answer all of their objections because they're going to say, how many houses have you sold in my neighborhood? And what's your average list price to sales price ratio? Like, they're going to ask me all these questions. And I did my presentation and I said, so who else are you interviewing? And they said, nobody, we picked you. It's crazy. And that's pretty much every listing appointment that I've gone on since that day has pretty much been that way. There was a couple of times where they said, we're interviewing a few other people. But there was this one time the lady welcomed me in and she said, I am interviewing other agents, but I'm going to tell you, I already like you the best. So that was before I even walked in the front door. That happens because they already feel like they know you.
I can tell you that does not happen when you're buying Zillow leads, and that does not happen when you're buying Facebook leads, at least not from the onset. It takes time to build that for sure.
Yeah.
So somebody asked online, I can't get to the actually typing on my computer to answer questions, but there hasn't been a ton yet. You guys have questions. We are going to answer them at the end. Karin did. We will also be talking about our program. Somebody asked about them already. Hang in there. We're going to go through that, and we got special deals for you, so you don't want to leave, okay? So Karin, thank you. And I want you to pipe in as I'm going because both of us are trying to handle questions and stuff while we're doing it.
I know. I'm trying to do it on my phone now because at least I can turn the sound off on my phone.
I know. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen back now because we've got, of course, Patty always has her slideshow ready here. Let's go share from current slide. All right, start please. All right, so Karin, awesome stuff. So for those of you that don't know me, probably some of you in Karin's group, my name is Patti Sampson and I am a real estate broker in Scottsdale, Arizona. I got my license in 2004 and I had spent 17 years as a paralegal prior to that, and woke up one day and said, I'm going to kill myself if I push my paper from right to left in this little cubicle one more time. And I went and I told my boss that I'm going to be quitting my job and go full-time as a single mother. I had 2 tweens at home, single mother, and said, I'm going to go get my real estate license. And he goes, well, and I was in tears, right? So I'm leaving a full-time job with 2 kids at home, single mother. And I was not sure what I was doing, but I knew I couldn't sit there another minute. And so I told him, and the first thing he said to me was, well, I can't tell you how I'm going to miss you. You're irreplaceable. However, I got to tell you, I don't know what you've been doing here this entire time. You don't belong here. And I have felt guilty that you've been here. So that was my push out the door. I proceeded to sit on my butt for 7 months after I got my license to figure out what the heck I was doing. And then I found a company that would give me thousands of internet leads. So I was getting 100 to 150 internet leads, sometimes more when agents were leaving. And so the big thing is we were employees of the company at the time. And as a part of what I had to do was not just give them a split, but I also had to give up 20% of my commission so that I could give it back to the buyer as a rebate. And so that was fabulous. So my first year, I sold 42 homes. Hold on to your hat. I made $82,000 my first year working for that brokerage. But here's what I'll tell you. I learned a work ethic to manage my business. I learned how to use a proprietary CRM, the only time I'd ever been in one at that time, obviously. And I loved automation to get started with. So the bottom line is there was just no way I could have worked all that business without having some sort of automated follow-up plan in place. At the time, however, my automation was creating templates where I copied and pasted, and I paid my son 11 cents for every time he copied and pasted for me. So I would create a group of people that were all similar, and I would say, all right, kid, for the next however many minutes I could get him to sit still, would you please copy and paste the subject line and the body of the email in and hit send? That was the only way we could do it at the time. And part of the reason is the company would not really allow us to do any sort of automated. I figured out how to do all kinds of things, but if we didn't touch them personally every month, they would consider us not actually touching them, and they would take our leads away at the night when I was sleeping. So I tolerated that for
Wow.
I kid you not, it was
crazy.
horrible. So anyway, what happened is I went from zero money basically at that point. I did have money set aside to start the business, to start doing the real estate. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. I've since owned my own brokerage, which I wouldn't recommend for anybody personally unless you love compliance, which I actually did not like. I loved the training. And so what I realized was I had a niche, I had a talent, I had a passion, I think more than anything, to automate and to make my business better. And so what I realized is I love this stuff. I mean, it's kind of sick, really. So what I do now is I still have a real estate team here. I do very little. We do get leads. I have to get them, and so that I can train people. And in January of this year, I opened the doors to my own ENGAGEMORE CRM. And so I'll talk to you a little bit more about it. But I do want you to know that what we're going to talk about today can be implemented in any CRM. Will I tell you that I built it all up in my system so that you don't have to copy and paste and do all of the stuff that you hate? I'm going to tell you that. And so do stick around, because I'm going to give you a special, incredible offer if you're interested in the end. But I've got so much to share with you. And for those of you who are already in my world, my ENGAGEMORE CRM world, I want to thank you all for taking the leap and coming into my amazing CRM. It's so exciting. And you guys that are here loved it. And I'm so glad that it's turning into what exactly I wanted it to be. I'm getting teary because I opened the doors to something very scary for me. And I'm so excited it's working. So everybody who knows me, I get emotional occasionally. But anyway, let's get
That's
rolling.
so awesome, Patty. And I'm so excited for you, because when I heard you were doing that, I was just cheering you on from across the country, because
I know. I mean, how long can you train in other people's software and not have any control over it, which is a problem. Now I have control over it, and I'll tell you more about it later, but it's just amazing to be able to offer up something and to be able to build exactly what I did in my own business. Since then, I've sold hundreds of homes. I've helped thousands of agents close thousands of homes with this software. So Anyway, that's my story, and I'm excited to be here today with Karin and to be able to offer you some incredible knowledge about what you have to do. So the big thing you guys need to understand is that lead generation is one thing. The money is in the follow-up, and you're going to hear me harp over this over and over again. So it's just so important. But we do need to collect the leads. And so because this training is about, we're going to do community videos, what are we going to do to get people to sign up or write us back or whatever? So we need that. So let's talk first about a lead magnet, because we're going to go in this process that I was showing you, the cycle. And this is the irresistible offer that you're going to use. Now, in our case, if you're going to do community stuff, I'm going to pull up a bunch of ideas here in a minute of the different kind of lead magnets that you can create. So you have the process of, all right, I need to figure out who is my perfect client? Who do I want to work with in this community that I know and love so well? And then you create the lead magnet that is actually going to be the thing you're going to get people to sign up for, right? So you got to get that ready. And then I tried to put all the print to the left so that Karin and I were over the front of it. Let me see if I can move us. I don't know if we're going to be able to move me, but let's see what happens. So the value of a lead magnet directed toward a community niche, it is going to encourage signups of potential buyers and sellers, which you want to collect names and emails and phone numbers of anybody you want to get that information. And how much you collect from somebody is going to depend on that offer, because you don't want to ask everything under the sun. If you do, you might get no one to sign up. It depends on what you're offering. You're going to build a list and a pipeline, which is key, of people who are farther along in this process, because when you're doing a community niche, like I was saying earlier, they're already committed to something specific, right? It's the difference between, like, I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. The difference between what happens in the middle of winter when someone in Minnesota has just had it. They're sick of the snow. And if you're from Minnesota, chime in down below, or Michigan, because that's where I'm from. When you've just had it in the middle of the winter and you don't want to stay there anymore, all you're thinking is warm sunshine. You don't know anything about Florida. You don't know anything about Savannah. You don't know anything about Arizona. So I'm going to run a search for homes in Phoenix. Well, that's pretty blanketed. That is not a community niche. But when somebody's actually running a search for single level homes in Scottsdale, Arizona with a pool, that is somebody way farther along in the process. So wouldn't that be an amazing video? Wouldn't that be an amazing list to provide somebody who's that farther along? And so when they're farther along, they're going to be not waiting forever. You're going to get someone to close sooner, probably, because they're already that far along. So this is the big key about filling the pipeline with people that are interested in what you're doing. They're going to be running searches on video, and then, of course, yeah, right? And then lead magnet signups are way more serious about the business of buying a home in that neck of the woods than somebody just sitting in Minnesota wondering what it's like in Arizona.
And can I interject really quickly?
Oh, please, yeah.
People are always afraid to ask for their phone number and ask for their information. But if they feel like they know you from your videos, they will give you their legit contact information all day long. Don't be afraid to ask for their phone number. The first time I did it, I was like, this is never going to be a real phone number. And I called them and they answered. I was shocked. And most of the time they give you their legitimate email and phone number because you have earned their trust at this point. So they're going to give you their contact info.
That's right. And so for those of you who don't know, the average internet lead will close, if you have nothing set up in place, no follow-up, no nothing, and you just try to call them one time and then give up and say the leads suck, because that's what I hear all the time. You need a follow-up, right? This doesn't happen overnight. So converting is a numbers game. Average agents who actually have something set up is usually 3 to 5%. And that's, set up meaning long-term campaign, and you actually pick up the phone, right, Karin? So when you pick up the phone and you stay in touch and you're in their face with stuff that they care about, this makes it so much easier because they care about the community. Otherwise, you don't know what they care about. They're just searching because they don't even know what they care about, right? So you want to get more people in here, and that's the key, and really focus on the community and what the offer would be that they would have an interest in. So we're going to talk now for the next few slides about different lead magnet ideas that you might do. So, you guys certainly can take screenshots of this if you want to. We aren't going to be sending this PowerPoint out, so if you can take a screenshot of the list, I would do it right now. Get your screenshot software ready. We are going to repost this, by the way, for some of you who are still trying to get into the groups. By the way, I sent an email and text out to everybody, and I'm not sure you all got them. Not sure what happened, or you didn't read them, so on how to get in. So if you're just coming in, we're going to keep it recorded in here for a while so you can come back and watch this. Okay, so one of the first things you might want to consider as a community is a list of homes for specific community demographics. So homes could be certain price ranges in the zip code or city, even though for me, the city in some cases could still be too big. You might want to offer a list of single level homes. People love single level homes. In my neck of the woods, golf courses are big. Mountain views, waterfronts, vacation homes or condos, near community schools. Whatever you know that you get asked all the time about your neighborhood is a great way to create a list, right? So, what's average? What do you want to do? I'll give you a tip. Now I know we got people in California on here. A few weeks ago, I started running an ad in California and I thought, I might get a few leads. $1.2 million house was showing. We got 175 leads in 3 weeks, right? So that price range, I thought, there's no way, oh yeah, they want out. The kind of text I'm getting, the communication I'm getting back is, and I hate to say this, I want to get out of this hellhole. That's the kind of response I'm getting, You got to know what that is. You know what your community is, right? Make sure that you think outside of the box and don't think little, because when you think little on price range, you're going to get people that are going to be more challenged, most likely, to be buying, right? And then we all know, if you're in, like I am, we're really struggling for listings too. So you've got to think, I thought if I promoted something more expensive, I'd have more listings available to show them. And so that actually worked, right? By the way, I'm looking for agents in Scottsdale, so if anybody's interested.
I want to see a copy of that ad, please.
Oh, yes.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, actually, I don't run my own ads, but I got an ad guy I can hook you all up with, so just send me a note. All right, so another thing, community area reports. Community, neighborhood, zip code. So you can just kind of do a report. What you're seeing over here is a market report. And I was talking to Karin this week. I thought all NAR members had access to RPR, which is a free software. Well, it's not free. You pay for it with your dues. But Karin, you're telling me you don't have access to this. So.
We do now. When I first moved to Savannah, we did not. And I was so bummed. And then after I talked with you yesterday, I went and looked, and now we do. So hallelujah. But yeah, if you're able to
ask your association. Exactly. Because I'm actually going to click on this really quick and show you maybe I didn't put I did put a live link. Actually, I'll show it to you when I get off this. But it creates these gorgeous reports, really simple, fast. So you can have those school reports. They'll even do that. They'll do specific property reports, and you can do them really quick. HOA, so you can go and get the CCNRs from your community. I'm assuming you can send those out, or at least get the tips from it, and you could put like highlights of your HOA community in a report. And then, of course, videos of that community. Duh, that makes total sense, right? You might as well do that. How about home valuation reports? A quick report from your RPR, right? And I posted in the group the other day, your group, Karin, about doing a Google or CMA, and I told you I was going to go and create one, and I'm going to tell you, I'm trying to get it done. But what I love about, I'm going to get it done and post it in the group. But what I love about this is a little video of how it will look partially, and it's exciting. And people are going to zero in and go, oh my God. So if you did a sample of something like this and said, oh, here's your house. Let's talk about it. Looks like you're next to the mountains. It looks like you are in a beautiful neighborhood. And then it's going to zero in here in a minute. And you're going to totally find out all the stuff they have in their backyard, right? And then you'll be able to zero in and just talk a little bit about it. Say, I just had a chance to do a virtual CMA, and this is a great way to do this right now since it's COVID. And then you do in the background, you're talking about, oh, this is a lovely street, and this house is that, and you got a nice neighbor, and blah, 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 and you BS your way into it. So you do a sample of this, and you post it on YouTube, and you tell people that I will do this for you too. And you'll create the quick RPR CMA, which literally you put an address in, you click boxes you want, and then you pull this thing up and it's gorgeous. And you do a really quick, less than 5-minute video that's a CMA back to them, right? And so those people that say, I'm getting what's my home worth type leads, would this be like awesome to send back to them? Even if you're getting those, or you're doing a FSBOs, expired leads, which, you know, tough thing to do. But if you put something like this in their face and you took literally, so, I mean, you put it in, and I'm going to show you because I'm actually going to post the video. I've got, what I was trying to do is create the sample and then show you what to do afterwards. So I'm going to get it in there, I promise. But this was what I was talking about. It's exciting and it's eye-catching. Okay, community informative guides, right? So you might have a relocation guide. I know Karin mentioned she has a relocation guide for Savannah. Local buying guide tips, how to buy in that community. So if you have a guide that you're able to edit, you can go in there and just plop in a couple things at the top of that guide and have it specific to the area. And just let the route, you can have 10 different guides related to 10 different areas that you want to work. I wouldn't suggest 10, but whatever. And then put in information specific to that community. And actually you could go to RPR and get stats, demographic stats that you can put into the guides. So that, I mean, so now you got that. First time home buyer guides. In our state, which I think every state has, you got disclosure statements. Like we have a buyer's disclosure and a seller's disclosure. You know, when you go into those, there's so many links in there of things people can do research on and on when they buy a home. I always tell people about that because all of those links are actually content for your drip campaigns too. Ha ha, right? So just go and see what everybody's clicking on and or go into those and see what those links are and write up campaigns based on that stuff. But you can just send them this, let them see what's going on in your neighborhood. Oh, how about cheat sheets, checklists, downloads, something like that. So you could do a listing checklist, a house hunting checklist, a list of home buying loans for the area, local down payment assistance programs, if you guys still do any of that stuff, questions to ask your agent about buying or selling in your area, a copy of the purchase contract, local stuff, right? So how much, if somebody's coming in from another state, would this be important for them to see? You know, all the stuff's at your fingertips and none of this costs you anything. Well, maybe if you pay for a CANVA account, all right, but you can create this stuff, right? Very easy to do. All right, so then how do you create your irresistible lead magnet? We're gonna talk about different ways you can do this. Again, it depends on what you're offering. If you're gonna offer a list of properties, my suggestion is that you don't just go to your site and grab, or number one, you don't go to the MLS and send them a list. Why? You get no SEO out of that. So what we want you to do is create a page on your site that is specific to your offer if you're going to provide listing or market info, right? You got to have it ready. You want to have a URL because having the URL, you can then dump back in to a drip campaign email template where people will click. And when people click, they go back to your site. And if you have a CRM like mine does, that will send the same template. It's kind of like the MLS where you can send real-time listings somewhat, but it's not real-time. If you set this up and you do put the keyword searches on the back of the site of the page that you're building, and I have all this training that I've done, that it will start to grow you organically. And I got on the on the first page of Google in 4 months doing exactly this and my drip campaign. Between the two, I had so many clicks on my pages that I built that I organically got on for 3 of my niches on the first page in 4 months. Now, I'm an old lady, you guys. I'm almost 60, right? And I'm telling you, I learned this just out of the blue, figured out what was happening when I started to do it. And I ran a random search for that keyword term that I had. And you guys can go check it. North Phoenix Luxury Homes was one of them. You see AZ Excellence Team at the top. Don't go now because I want you to stick around and watch this, but check it out. I'm there organically, no ad. I mean, there might be an ad, but I'll be the first non-organic or organic result, right?
I'm going to do an incognito search right now.
Go do it. And yeah, just type in North Phoenix, Phoenix, North Phoenix Luxury Homes. See what turns up.
Spell Phoenix.
Not everybody can.
My husband calls it Pahonix just to be funny.
Pahonix.
Is
Well, what
it azexcellenceteam.com?
That'd be me. That's, I have
Number
like 4
one, above Zillow people. Oh my God, I have to take a screenshot of this.
That's niche marketing. And you can check again for North Phoenix affordable homes and North Phoenix luxury homes. I didn't want to brag, so I don't have it up here, but I do have, I mean, people
I'm
have
going to
seen
brag
me.
for you. She is ranking above Zillow on page 1 of Google.
Yeah, you know why? Because this
That's
is
amazing.
niche. Like if, you know, Zillow's not out there putting these kind of tags on their site necessarily. Some of them they are. If you just put in all homes in Phoenix for sale, it's gonna take you forever to get the top of page 1. It took me 4 months, you guys. I'm there for North Phoenix affordable and North Phoenix luxury. And I'm gonna tell you that site is nothing to write home about right now. It's my older original site. It takes you to this little silly landing page and you click on one or the other, and then it goes to what I call a blog search. And that's what I have here, these blog searches. So, you know, and these on the back of these pages, you can't see them because I built them, is I have the keyword searches that I knew people would search for based on this niche. And I send the people back in my drip campaigns every 3 days to these pages after they sign up for this niche, okay? And then you get, this is what happened, all right? Now, if you want to offer downloadable items, and I just scammed on Karen's little cute little checklist thing.
Checklist.
Yay! The pre-shoot checklist that
you.
you've given to all of your students, which is amazing. I'm a student of hers too. So the key is that you can create this stuff and you can go to Canva. So and I put the coupon in here because I did give away down, you know, you got to do what you got to do, but I gave away closing costs for a long time. And that's how I grew my business. And then the house checklist, this is a new one. Take a look at that because I'm going to talk about this here in a little bit, okay? So you can do it there. Or your guides. So here's the cool part about your guides. I actually have guides that I sell very affordably, but you can have these guides, you create them in Word, and then add clickable links. You can see here where it says, click here to start your home search. That's a live link. And guess where it's going to go? Going back to my site, right? And to my YouTube channel, right? Save as a PDF. So when you put a clickable hyperlink in there and then you upload it to somewhere where you can grab a URL, and I recommend you put it on your website. Why? Because everybody's going to your website is providing you that Google juice you always hear me talk about, right? Add URL links or buttons to your drip campaigns then. So you can then now drive people back again, and you can actually, when you have a URL, and you put it in a CRM that actually can track the opens and the closes, the opens and the clicks, guess what that's telling you? Hot buying signs, right? So my system does this where I've got buttons built into every single template that's in the system. And so, and we're talking hundreds of templates, those buttons are going to drive back to the website, right? And so those hits, also every day I can come in and see who's opening and who's clicking. So I'm not staring at a database full of I don't know who. I'm going to go focus on the people that are clicking on my stuff, right? So that's the goal. All right, so now I just mentioned about increasing your online presence. When you upload your offer to your site, you're going to create those specific pages for your offers. You're going to add search words. You're going to resend these URL links to those pages and your YouTube videos over and over within your drip campaigns. And I'm all for, you guys are already, many of you are in Karen's group already and doing a bunch of this already. Why aren't you loading this stuff up into your email campaigns? Repurpose this stuff. Every video you do does not just have to show up on YouTube only. In my system, the emailing tool is built in. You don't have to pay for BombBomb. So you're just taking the URL from your video and sticking it in there. We can actually email it 2 different ways, where you'll send them over to YouTube, because you do want to do that. If you're trying to promote a listing you have, you want the whole world to see it, right? Or you've got some community video that you want everybody to know, but it's educational, right? So why not use it? And so when they, guess what? When they click on the video, they either go to YouTube, or we actually can embed them into landing pages that are built in my system. And you could just go in and embed them, and you're just driving them to a landing page. By the way, that's what BombBomb does. That's what all the other CRMs that have these kind of quote unquote email tools. My thing is, I want you to load your videos into YouTube. And Karen, why would that be? and not
Because
hide them.
YouTube has SEO just like Google does. And like,
Yes.
don't use Vimeo and stuff like that, which are not searchable. No one will ever organically find it.
Right.
You use that for content that you don't want the rest of the world to see. If you're making community videos, you want the whole world to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you said that you can track all of these links because, for example, if I get a lead from someone that says, I'm planning on moving to your area, but not for a year, we'll send them, it looks like a monthly newsletter that has a video embedded in it.
Yes.
And the video usually has nothing to do with real estate. It's like something really fun that you can do in the area, a parade that happened. We have a boat parade at Christmas time where the boats get all dressed up with Christmas lights and they go down the river, and it's gorgeous. So I took a video of it. I put it on YouTube. I made a video. It goes out in the December mailing list. So they get a newsletter like, hey, I hope you're still excited about moving to Georgia. I went to the boat parade for Christmas. That was the coolest thing ever. Take a watch, you know? And when you can see that they clicked on it and they watched the video, you're staying in front of them long-term instead of just sending them stuff like, do you want to know what interest rates are right now?
Yeah.
Like, that's not exciting. You know,
No.
get them excited about relocating to your area. Or if they already live in the area and maybe they're a renter and they're going to buy their first house. You're telling them all of these things that are really cool and let them watch the videos, but it's stuff that's not so dry and boring and market stats. And like, does anybody really want to watch another market update video? I mean, occasionally, but weekly, I don't think anybody wants to watch weekly market update videos.
That's good. That's a good one for a monthly newsletter type thing.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, thanks, Karen, for piping in on that, because you're so right about all of that. I mean, and the great thing is if you've already created these or you're going to be creating them, don't just post them one time and then drop them. Put them in a library, have them ready. And if you have a good CRM that you can put these into, you can embed them somehow or whatever you're using. By the way, a CRM is not the same as a MailChimp emailing tool, just FYI. But if you wanted to, you could just plug them in, like put videos in your existing templates. You don't have to write new templates, just drag them in there, you know, because they'll be happy, and let them know. And maybe in your subject line, you got a special video message for them too. All right. So this stuff works. I'm not kidding you guys. All right. So now I get the question of, where do I house this thing? So if it's a downloadable item other than your listings, which we've already know, you're going to go to your site and build a website page for it. So the search is there. But you can go and take your URL to these downloadable items that you're going to have, and you can put them on your website into a site. You don't want to leave them out for the whole world to get to. Like, don't give a buyer guide without getting somebody to sign up, you know, and don't think to yourself, oh, well, if I don't give it away, they'll never come back. Guess what? They're never going to come back because they just randomly found you. The only way they're going to find you again is if you drive them back to your site. And this is the problem we have, because we build our sites and everybody says, my site sucks, nobody finds me. They don't find you because you have to put gas in that tank. And that means driving them there. Just drive them there every day in your emails. You know, I have a long-term, and I'll talk about that, but I got a long-term 12-month campaign, and then I have a recurring one that runs on the side. So when I know I'm marketing to something specific, then I'm going to set up this recurring one with one template in it that sends it every 3 days for buyers and every week for a seller. And so on a seller, you have to do a little bit more work because you want to make sure you're sending them something specific to their neighborhood, but it's market updates, and keep it real time if you can. I basically just go and run a search for closed, everything for sale and everything closed over the last 3 months, and put that link inside, you know, but you've got that option. You can obviously load up where you house your offer. Your offer could be other YouTube videos that you're doing about the community or how to buy. Like, get them, hey, I'm going to give you the 5 most important things you must know about buying a home in Savannah, but you don't actually make it for the whole world to see. You could do another one like that, but they're not on YouTube finding you yet, maybe, you know? So you might have got them through a Zillow, or you did a Facebook ad, you know, and you know now where they want to be, you know, send them the video. Google Drive or Dropbox, you just want to get a URL. I also used a tool called Sendowl, and what I love about Sendowl is $10 a month, and it will house any size document. I tried to send out like a heavy-duty PDF, not a PDF, but this PowerPoint, And it was so heavy, it wouldn't take it anywhere. So I had to put it in there. I pay $10 a month, but it will automatically deliver things. And if you want to charge people, you can actually charge people and send out to. Some of our CRMs will actually allow us to upload information and documents there, or you can also build it into another landing page. So there's so many places, and most of this is stuff you already have, you guys. So like I will take my guide and actually upload it on my, what is it? My WordPress site in the media. That's it. And you take the link that's created from that, and that's what you're using to send it back out, right? So when someone signs up on something, you would redirect them to it and then send it to them again. So we're going to talk about that. So here's a couple of examples of the kind of landing pages that you might want to create for things. And so we've got one here for a buyer or house hunting list. You can have, what's my home worth, or learn about this listing. People need to sign up somewhere, right? And so ideally, this will help you automate. The problem is sometimes on YouTube, people will actually write you in there, like that happens, right? Well, they'll just send you a message on the YouTube channel, right? So how do you handle that? Do you actually say, do you send them somewhere to sign up? Or, I mean, what do you do when that happens, when they're just writing you in a message?
I mean, if they just comment on the video, I'll say something like, send me an email, and I'll give them our like team official email address. Or I'll say, we have it on our website, and I'll put the link in there. If they're just going to send me an email, now I've got their contact information, which is great. So I don't feel like it's super necessary to make them opt in, because they're contacting me directly. And when they send me an email, they tell me their whole life story. Like they will tell you everything that they want to know. So, and then you can manually add them to your CRM.
Yeah.
Yes, I see all the time where people say, get a copy of my free buyer's guide. And when I click the link, it goes to the buyer's guide. No, you got to send them to a landing page like this. So you collect their information first.
You're not getting anything out of that, because they're just going to get it and go, oh, how nice is that? Thank you. And then they'll never find you again.
And somebody asked in the chat, you do give away copies of those the templates that you're talking about as part of ENGAGEMORE, right?
Yeah. Yes. All of the
Stephanie, I knew she did, but I just wanted to verify, make sure I wasn't.
You're talking about the email templates. We're talking about these things. These two things are actually screenshots that are on my landing pages, and I'm going to talk to you about both ways to get these.
Yeah, Stephanie said you include all these templates that you're talking about in your program. So I just wanted to make sure you said that out loud. Thank
you, Karen. I appreciate it. I do, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to show you how to get to learn more about it here in a little bit. But yes, you don't have to write. The majority of it you don't have to do. Do you have to learn it? Yeah, and I don't care what CRM you're in. Here's the problem with us, is that we think the CRM is an afterthought. Do you guys realize that your CRM and your drip campaign is the most important tool that you have in your tool belt? And why? Because we know people don't come online today and find a stranger and start working with us tomorrow. Very, very, very rarely. That's why the videos are so great, because when they finally reach out to you, and they've already stalked you for a while, right? And so they're already committed to you. That's the cool part. But if you're out buying leads, like many of us are, and I am too, I got a whole pile just this past couple of weeks, and I'm trying to connect with them right now. It's a pain. There's no doubt. It's a pain. It's a numbers game, but it's cheap, right? Not as cheap as YouTube videos. But if you get this going, you don't need to pay for all of that, and you're going to get way better leads, right? All right, so now we're capturing the leads contact info with squeeze landing pages. And so I'm just going to, because this is what I promised I would do, is show you you've got all these different opportunities to use and create landing pages with different systems, right? MailChimp has them. Gravity Forms, which is a form that is a plugin that you get in your WordPress site. There's another one called Formidable Forms. Your website form, which might just be part of your company. Aweber is another emailing / landing page type property. I mean, you'll pay for all these different things. You have to figure out what works for you. You can even create a Google form. The key about all of these things, though, is whatever you're using, you want to be sure that it all can automate and dump right into your CRM. So when you're deciding how you're going to do this, you need to check with your CRM provider and that service to see what's it going to take to connect these things. Because if you're going to have to manually put them in, you're just First of all, we know that 66% of people will work with the agent who responds first. So if they're signing up for something and you're taking 3 weeks to get back to them, by the way, average agent's 48 hours, which is ridiculous to me. There's no reason for that. But you want to make sure that you're in front of them. Now, I will tell you that ENGAGEMORE CRM, my new CRM, has got landing pages in them pre-built like I showed you. So you can do that. Plus the drip campaigns that match them. Okay. So I'm going to hit this home yet again. The money's in the follow-up, you guys. The money is in the follow-up. Here's what I'll say. You're going to say, I'm not going to spend $25 on a CRM. I'm not going to spend $75. I'm not going to spend $100 because my brokerage gives it to me, or I get it through my title company, or my lender gave it to me. I'm going to tell you now that you're going to get what you pay for most of the time. Not only that, but those people don't know how to train you how to use this thing. This is one thing to mail stuff out. It's another thing to manage and mine your database for the gold, right? And to get it done by somebody who really knows what they're doing, because they're working in it every day and they're not tech support, okay? Get a system, and I don't care what CRM you're in, that you believe in, that you think you can learn, if you can't learn it, you got to ask them, how can I learn this fast? How can I get up and running fast? What do I have to do to get this in? How can I re-engage old leads? You got a whole pile of old leads that need to get in. I mean, there's a whole thing to it, all right? The money's in the follow-up, and you got to stay in front of them with stuff they care about. I show this a lot in all my trainings, but I'm not going to read the whole thing, but we want to just scoot down to the very bottom. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact or more. So that doesn't mean calls every single time, by the way. It doesn't mean text every single time. By the way, if you over text, people will opt out faster than your head, and your head will spin off, right? So you got to be you got this fine line of how many emails, how many texts, how often do I send them? What do I say? You know, I got to build it. Oh my God, I got to copy and paste. I don't know what to do. You know, I've had people that I was building drip campaigns for in other systems, which will remain nameless. Many of you know that. And a lot of people have left that system and gone to other systems and now wanting all those drip campaigns because they worked. It's a pain though. I'm telling them they're going to have to build them, or they're going to have to hire us to build them for them. And it's a pain in the butt. Nobody likes doing it. Plus, most of us don't even know what to say, right? Karen, I know you wrote a lot of your stuff and then you've kind of done a combination of different things, but I mean, because I watch a lot of what you send out too. I mean, it's important, right? So.
Yeah, but it works. In fact, I just had a lead come in while we were doing this, and I went to my website to see which form they filled out, and it was your guide to buying a home. So I can assume it's probably a first-time buyer, because that's the type of person who fills out the form on that page.
Yep.
And so when we follow up, the drip campaign that goes out is going to be specifically for a first-time buyer.
Absolutely.
It needs to be follow-up that is relevant to what they requested. You're not going to send them stuff about want to find out what your home is worth, because they didn't opt in on a seller landing page. They opt in on a buyer landing page.
Right. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is that we're out buying leads from these lead generation guys out there, and they don't really guide you on what to do now that you've got the lead, or they're giving you a drip campaign and saying, all right, I set it up in your CRM over here, go for it. And it's so generic, and it doesn't send what the people asked for. And so that's where I get a lot of, Patty, I've got these leads coming in, I had to shut them off. That kills me when I hear it, because I wasn't sending them what the people asked. Nothing is going to peeve people off faster than not sending what they signed up for. It's a bait and switch, right? So you got to be prepared. So don't start running ads and spending all this energy and time doing these YouTube videos until you get your follow-up plan in place. It's just, you're wasting energy and time and sitting. It's just like going to an open house and taking that list and throwing it in the garbage when you get home. You're doing nothing to follow up with these people, right? How many people have lists and lists from their open houses, right? And have done nothing with them. Well, it's ridiculous. So I'm going to go through the 5 most important steps you must take with every single lead. Number 1, you want to make a call. You do. And I don't care what you say. You tell me you don't like calling, you need to change businesses right now. Get into do something else, because this isn't the business for you. You can automate the text, however. New lead email, you want to send them something. Again, automated. The minute it comes in, you get something out. Home listings. This is where I think people have not figured it out. In the day when I didn't realize this whole thing about the sending out the recurring email and When you figure that 95% of the leads I'm getting online are not closing because that's just the nature of an internet lead, let's let that 95% still look at my stuff, still click on my things, right? And all of that clicking and looking, and even though they may never write me back, is helping me grow online organically, right? But all these other people are still going to get listings because what do they care about most? They care about listings and what's going on in their neighborhood. So if you're marketing home value, you want to go and take the time to set up a quick every 3 day or every week on a seller, what's going on in their community mostly. Now, if you're in a multi-million-dollar area and there's not much for sale, you might want to spread that out a little, but that doesn't stop you from sending engaging, educational, stuff to get them interested in you, and these videos that you have, because you've already got them all, right? And then you want to turn on that engagement, which I like the 12 months. So I'm going to send the listings and I'm going to run the 12-month, and then I give myself a notice at the end of my campaigns that automatically tells me that the campaign is over. Once it's over, I have to make a decision. And should I turn on a re-engagement campaign and see if they're still alive? And most of them still are, believe it or not, because they start researching early. And then we turn on that re-engagement campaign. I might also turn on a video holiday campaign, which, by the way, I have built, coming from your trusted local real estate provider. So they're already in here. And you just want to send them something so you stay top of mind, And then obviously the follow-up is key. When they do write you, when they do text you, don't wait around forever. I hate to say this, but I've been in a few of my own users, subscribers, accounts to help them out on some stuff. And I go in there and I see texts from people that they got texts and they don't even know it. And so, when I'm in my live training, I do go live in my group twice a week. I just cannot believe I'll say, you guys got to check your text. You guys, you're getting text from this engagement that's going out, so make sure that you've got your notifications on, that you're checking, that you're logging in, that you have this stuff set up so you'll be notified. This is all part of understanding how to use your software. And so having a drip campaign and not understanding how to use your CRM is like, I'm pushing you, and I've said this a zillion times too, I'm going to push you out into the ocean without any paddles to get back to shore. So you need to know how to use your software. And if you get some good training in your system you're in, then you can make this work for you. So just real quickly on what that follow-up looks like, you want to automate and integrate the sign up to a campaign immediately. Here's an example of over here how we have ours. This is only just like the first day, because our campaigns, if you see on the right, actually will set it up specific to a type of lead. It will opt them in because we do have an opt-in permission-based system, which is 99% of what we get is all opted in anyway, one way or the other, because they signed up somewhere. Assign them to a flow. We're also setting notes to it, and we do all that. But then we start texting and emailing. So all the blue is the emails, all the yellows are the text, and it goes down for at least, there's about 35, I think, in this particular, this is seller campaigns, probably a little shorter. But it's a year long, but not as many items. But we want to redeliver the offer immediately. So not only, you might redirect them from that landing page, but you want to redeliver it too, okay? And then you want to please call the lead. Please, you guys. Use email and text. And I also have built in an automated ringless voicemail drop inside of mine. So it will I just went and recorded it on Slide Broadcast, and I built it inside of one of this buyer campaign that I have for this $1 million house. And so they're getting instantly a voice message drop from me. Have they called me back from it? No, but they heard my voice, right? They're connecting with me. So we still want to make the call. I'm just knowing that, actually I wait a day and that goes out. So, but it's automatic. I don't even touch it. Create video emails, repurpose those, long-term, 12 months. Send listings, which we've talked about, and you can build them in your campaigns. And then the key is to add your clickable links so you can identify that. On our dashboard, we can see everybody who's clicking on stuff and who's opening stuff. So I say, go there first every day. Go there first every day. You got 30 minutes to do some prospecting. You're going to identify the hottest business by focusing on those people. And then let your campaigns just run, because the people will pop their heads up eventually. Well, not everyone, but when they do, you got to be there. This will help you identify that. So if your CRM does not provide you a full list of this kind of activity, you might want to find another one, okay? stay top of mind, and then pounce when they show. When I say when they pop their heads up, and that popping their heads up is they're opening your mail and you can see it, they're clicking on your links, you can see it. So even if you have one of those websites that you can't see anything going on in the back end, then you should be also doing that, by the way, is tracking what's going on when they're coming onto your website. But all right, so that's pretty much the whole gamut here. So we've done everything. We've done prepare your irresistible offer. We've created your page on your website somewhere that's going to house your lead magnet, right? We're going to create your squeeze landing pages. We're going to build your niche campaign, get that ready, right? Get this all ready, okay? Automate it. So you've got to somehow get that information into your CRM. The great thing about my landing pages, there's no connecting required. You just go in and say, I want this drip campaign to run. You've got to figure out what it takes to get that landing page into your CRM. So whatever it is, record and upload your amazing video, right? And then call and do all this stuff in the number 7. So, so, so important. Okay, so now we want to help you. We know you guys are here. You guys know that you weren't going to get here and not actually get some opportunity to get some help. I hope you do realize that. I hope you don't dump off right now when we're trying to tell you how you can get help, unless you guys are both in our groups, which I know there are many of you are. So congratulations to all of you. So I'm going to hand it over to Karin and let her talk about what she's got. Hold on. Right, let's go. Boom. All right. So Karin, tell us about what you're going to help the fine folks that are on this thing with.
In my program, YouTube for Agents, I literally teach you one thing, and it's how to make videos that convert viewers into clients. I don't teach you how to run ads. I don't teach you how to go live on Facebook. I don't teach you how to do Instagram Reels. I teach you how to make YouTube videos because it works. It takes a little bit of time. It doesn't happen overnight. It is a long-term game. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as people love to say. But when it starts to happen, it happens over and over and over and over and over again. So I will teach you what types of videos to make, how to film them, how to edit them, or how to outsource it to a virtual assistant, let them do the editing, what to say in the video, how to wrap it up at the end with a good call to action, the things that you should do, the things that you should not do. I make a whole bunch of these lead magnets that I make in Canva. I share it with you as a template. You then take it, you put your name on it, your logo on it, download it as a PDF. Now it's ready to use. So that's my whole area of expertise, is YouTube videos that gets results. Because people ask me all day long, would you do me a favor, go to my channel and take a look and give me your feedback? And you know, God bless them, they're trying really hard, but they're doing the same thing wrong over and over and over and over and over again. And it's like, if you would just make a few tweaks to your approach, it would probably start working.
Yeah.
But you just keep doing it in a manner that's proven not to be effective. And if you keep doing that way, then you're going to keep getting the same results. So if we can try to change the format of the video and do things a little bit differently and give it a better title, give it a better thumbnail, and do some things in the video that show your personality more, instead of just sitting at a desk wearing a suit and tie and being Mr., you know, I'm so serious all the time and I'm going to show my graphs and my charts. If you did something else that made the video more entertaining, maybe it would start to pay off for you. And I've had probably 1,000 students go through my program now, and I have success story after success story after success story, whether they lived in Iowa or they lived in Phoenix or they lived in Dallas or they lived in a great big city or like in the middle of nowhere in some tiny little suburb in New Hampshire. It works. So if you are interested, if you sign up within 1 week, so this expires on October 8th, so 7 days from today.
Got a slide for that.
Go to youtubeforagents.com/workwithkarin. There's a coupon code for $100 off when you pay in full. You can either pay for it all at once and then you'll get the discount, or you can split it up over 6 months if that's easier for you. If you pay in full with the coupon, it will be $897. $897 one time, you're done. You have lifetime access to the program. If you want to split it up over 6 months, it's $187 a month for 6 months. You have access As long as your payment go through, you have access. Once you've paid in full, you have lifetime access to the rest of the program. And we teach you all of this stuff. And then on top of that, I do additional live trainings. I was supposed to do a live event yesterday and today. We were doing a live conference in Savannah, which had to get postponed.
I would have been there giving you a hug.
I know. I was so excited to see you. And Patty was going to speak at this event talking all about CRMs and lead follow-up. But we're going to be doing it in March instead. Anyway, lots of great things with this program. But just the thing that excites me so much is when I see posts from my students where they're like, oh my gosh, I just got my first lead from YouTube. They're buying a $1.2 million house or something ridiculous like that. I've never sold $1 million house yet. And I've been in real estate for 15 years. Their first lead is a $1.5 million buyer or something ridiculous like that. It just makes me so happy because you can generate your own business. You do not have to buy leads from Zillow. Yeah. You do not have to run expensive ads. You can absolutely get leads on your own, and you will control how many leads are coming in by the content that you're putting out there. You can go from being a solo agent to having a team, or at least having a staff. If you had a couple of admins and maybe somebody that did all of the editing for you to get some of that stuff off your plate, you'll be amazed at how different your business can look in a very short period of time. Yeah. I have a client in Colorado. He's not even in a great big city as far as I know. I think he's in Colorado Springs, if I remember right. He said, I have to form a team. I have so many leads coming in that I feel like I'm starting to drop the ball because I can't call people as fast as they come in. So I need to hire agents. And we had a big coaching call about how he can grow a team. And that happened in 12 months. 12 months.
In 12 months, he's growing a team, which is amazing.
From being like, having no business at all, where he needed to sign up for the program, to I'm ready to hire help because I have so many leads coming in that I can't service them all myself. And so that's my ideal kind of problem to have in business, right?
Exactly.
Is I am so freaking successful. I need to hire more people to help me. That's what I'm talking about.
You were so successful, you could paint your wall back there behind you, your color, which I love. I think one of the biggest things that's key about what you do, Karin, is that when we start considering what we're spending at the whole year, so I work with a lot of agents who are spending money buying leads, and usually they're spending anywhere from $300 to $500, and some are spending over in the 2000s to get maybe 20 Zillow leads. I'm not kidding you. And this mentality is, well, if I spend $2,000 to get 10 leads out of Zillow, well, those leads are better than anything. And if I get one deal, then I'm good. I'm like, oh my God, but you got no follow-up in place. So that's problem number one. And on top of that, you think one deal out of spending $2,000 a month is a good thing? Add up what you're spending all year long for your marketing and include your CRM, right? How much are you going to make? How many houses do you need to sell to pay that off? Well, you got to figure it out. This is less than $1,000 for this course that one time you pay for, you sell one house, it's paid for a zillion times over, right? So this is the part that the mentality kicks in and goes, wait. The key though, Karin, right? You and I will both admit to this, that you have to work the training. Don't buy it and sit on it. Yeah, because the longer it takes for you to get in there and get it done, the more opportunities you're losing, and you're gonna have to keep buying these leads or whatever it is you're doing, right?
But I will tell you all day long that you could get 20 leads from Zillow. Not one of them cares who you are, knows, likes, and trusts you. They wanted whoever will drop their fork in the middle of dinner and run out of the room to take their phone call, because when I call you, I expect you to answer right now. Whereas if you get leads from people that are watching you on Zillow, if I call them back in half an hour because, I was driving down the street and then I call them when I get home, they say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm talking to you. You're famous. This is so cool. Like, honey, Karin Carr is on the phone with me. And they get all starstruck. They think that I'm doing them this huge favor by picking up the phone and calling them. It's the most surreal thing I've ever experienced in my life, but it happens over and over and over again. And so like the first several times it happened, I just cracked up. But now, I went to the Keller Williams annual conference you know, when we could still travel back in early February.
Yeah.
And I was getting stopped in the hallway, and I was walking down the hall with a friend, and we kept getting stopped, and people wanted to take selfies with me. And finally she's like, I'm leaving. I'm never going anywhere with you again. This sucks. I feel like chopped liver. Everybody wants to take a picture with you. And I'm over here going, hello, what about me? And it was funny because people feel like you're some sort of celebrity when you have a YouTube channel. So when you get these leads, you might not get 20 a day like you would from your Facebook ad, but they actually pick up the phone when you call them, and they actually respond to their emails, and they actually want to have a conversation with you. So even if you only got 3 leads a month, all 3 of those people are dying to work with you, and you didn't have to spend $1 on advertising.
I already have that subject line figured out. It's Karin from YouTube. Immediately they're going to open it. You know they will. From Savannah, YouTube, right? Amazing. I think one of the things that you just hit home that was so important was just the fact that maybe you get them on the phone and you say, you just caught me in the middle of dinner when you're really at happy hour. Can I give you a call back tomorrow, right? And so they'll wait, right? You know, so they'll understand because they've already been committed. They're committed to you. So that's amazing. So yeah, we're going to talk about deadlines for all this, but make sure you get the coupon code down. If you don't pay the whole thing, you've got a payment plan, right? Right.
6 months to spread out the payments.
All right. So mine's not as clean and as simple because here's what I want you to do. If you can afford it, which I think you should, is get both Karen's and my annual plan. And the reason is my annual plan will include over 30 drip campaigns, umpteen numbers of landing pages pre-built for you. And so we could take all these fabulous downloadable items that Karen's providing you and get them into the templates. And all you're doing is copying a really good campaign or a really good landing page and fine-tuning it really simple. We show you how. You're not going to have to recreate this whole wheel. So what I'm offering are 3 different options because I know that might be hard for you, right? And although I think you should. But the first option for all 3 options, I have 3 different levels in my CRM. You will go to ENGAGEMORE CRM. Please watch a demo. Feel free to do all that. Go do what you need to do to learn about it because I want to make sure that you understand what I'm doing here. This is a different world. I have been training in CRMs for a really long time and others, and I know what you guys need. I know exactly because I needed it. And so now I'm just sharing with you what I used in my own business that worked for me to close hundreds and hundreds of sales and help agents all across the country to do the same. So what happens in my system is the software is exactly the same on the different levels. The only difference is how much content you're getting. So the top level has over 30 drip campaigns, and I just actually put 2 new ones in there. One for this virtual Google CMA, by the way. I just have that in there and the landing page ready so you can load in the video and send it back. Okay, that's in there. And so it's included all in that level. These options are all for the impact level that include all that. I have the lower level, which is the buzz level, and I have a trial level, okay? But the trial will roll you into the impact level. So I'm going to give you 3 options. If you get signed up for any of these options, you are going to get access to the House Hunt lead magnet already built into the drip campaign to send out. You're going to get the matching landing page I showed you. All you got to do is go into the system and say, I want that campaign to run with it. The lead magnet's already built. It's already ready to send. All you have to do, you don't have to do anything, but just post the landing page out there, get people to sign up. You'll just need to assign the drip campaign. And I'm going to go in and do a really quick training, which I didn't get a chance to because I was working to get this done for you guys today. Quick training on how to set it up real fast and run it. So if you already have videos out there, you can take this and go use it. So this is in all 3 of these, okay? Option 1, you pay for the whole year. Right now, if you go to the site, you get 2 months off for free if you pay the whole year. Guess what? I'm going to give you an extra month. So you're going to use the same coupon code, all right? Follow up 2020, the same one. When you go there, you'll go to my site, sign up for the annual plan of impact. The pay the monthly, you could still sign up for the annual plan of impact. Now, what you're getting on top of all of this with all 3 of these is I'm also throwing in 4 small coaching sessions. So depending on how many people come in, I may have to do this over all week long, but I'm going to give you guys 4 once a week, and we'll probably start in a couple weeks after the coupon code expires, we'll start, but 4 weeks right in a row, 1 hour, right? So I'll pick a day, I'll let you know when it is. So if you sign up, you're going to get small coaching sessions with me. So I'm going to get on a screen share with somewhere between 5 and 10 of you, depending on how many. And I'm going to walk you through how to grow your business with your CRM and all of this stuff. We're going to take the steps you need, okay? And I know there's a bunch of the people that are in my current group right now. I'm going to give you guys that opportunity to get into. So don't be sitting there going, Patty, I get it. You guys get free training with me every week in there anyway, but I'm happy to have you guys come in too. We just got to make sure we got signups, right? So you get choice one, you get the annual plan, buy it all at once, or you can go in and pay monthly. If you do it now, between now and October 8th, you're going to get the coaching sessions. And you get all access to all 30 campaigns and all the landing pages I have, all the training that I do, which is just like this. I teach you how to be a salesperson, and oh, by the way, how do I use my CRM along the way? It's all part of it. Which, by the way, I was in another system doing this, and people were paying hundreds of dollars to get this from me. So now I have it in my own system. It's all included in the monthly plan. Now, I understand that you're going, I don't know if I want to change. I know it's a pain in the butt. Nobody likes to move. I get it. But I want to check it out. So I have a trial in there. You will not get the training and all the campaigns unless you stick around after the trial. And you can upgrade sooner if you want to, which I recommend. But you will get the house hunt lead magnet, the matching landing page, and the drip campaign immediately. So you can start doing it. And I also already have a lead revival jumpstart course in there, which is going to take you through the setup and then bringing in your old stale leads and then turning that on to re-engage your old leads. So you're getting yet another course in there, even to come in at the free trial. So I want you to come in and experience it. I mean, if you really think, but I'm saying now that if you do this, you will have until the 8th, okay? So you're gonna have until the 8th to use the coupon code right here and to sign up to get in the coaching sessions. And if you sign up before the 8th, if you go into the trial and sign up I will give you the training as well. So I'm just showing you what it looks like. You're getting the checklist, you're getting the landing page, and then the matching campaign. Now, for the trial, you're only getting 14 days of that campaign. It's just so you know, you're not getting a whole year's worth because you're going to get in and out, right? I've been selling my campaigns for a long time. By the way, I had some people ask, can I build stuff up in Line Desk? I have, by the way. So they have kicked me out of there to some extent, FYI, for obvious reasons. but
actually, that's a good point. A lot of people have been asking in the comments, can they buy your drip campaigns and use them with their existing CRM solutions?
Yes, you can. And my consulting site has been down. So what I'm going to say is I'll tell you how to get a hold of me so that we can give you options. We can build them for you. We can build 5. We got a kit that we can build 5 for you, or you can buy the campaigns and build them yourself. And by the way, you KV Core people, because I know there's a ton of you in here, this works. We can build them for you as well. The only problem is that the recurring part of this system that I recommend you do is not available as far as the software goes in most of the CRMs out there. Okay, Lion Desk took it away when they rolled out version 2, and KV Core doesn't have it. And KV Core and Lion Desk don't have date-specific scheduling options any longer. Lion Desk took it away on V2. You cannot schedule on a specific date. So holiday campaigns, you got to blast them out instead. You know, Sphere campaigns based on monthly don't exist. You can't do it because there's no way to schedule based on a date. So just keep that in mind, right? You'll hear me talk about that. Okay, so warning, coupons will expire on October 8th. All right, so if you're coming in under the trial and you want to get into the coaching and you want to get all those goodies, you need to upgrade by the 8th. So you really only have a week if you're going to upgrade, but you can get in there for a week and check it out. If you want to upgrade, you just send us an email to support@engagemorecrm.com and you can upgrade. Okay. So
and that's for the people who are already ENGAGEMORE customers, just on the lower plan.
That would be, that would be for the trial folks if they come in
okay, got it.
as a trial, right?
Okay.
So these are testimonials that are people that are in my system currently, and they came in. Just so you guys know, if you go and watch the demo, I did not create this software. I got fed up last year, or actually a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I went on a hunt to find software. this is a very powerful CRM software that I've spent the last year and a half working with the company to build it out for us. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I have maintenance real estate profession. You know, I mean, people don't come on and buy teeth whitening kits from us and overnight. We have to stay in front of them long term, right? So this is really key. And so these are people that are in the system. Some of these names you might recognize in Karen's group, as a matter of fact. And we have people in Karen's group that are in here that are just killing it. So reach out to them, ask them what their experience has been. They're loving it. And then Karen's got hers here too. Who are these amazing people?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Bob. He lives I think he's in the Pittsburgh area, if I remember correctly. And he is a relatively newer student of mine. I think he signed up maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And he's like, I have 3 active leads, and you know, this is all happening now during this crazy COVID situation. And it's pretty awesome. And he says, amazing. You know, he posted and said one day, I think I just did my last open house ever, because he went to this open house. He sat there, he wasted 3 hours of his time. Either nobody came or the only people who came already had agents. I can't remember what the story was. He was like, but I could have spent 3 hours making YouTube videos that would have brought me leads who thought that I walk on water. So I'm pretty much done. And then Amanda was one of the people, got a $1.5 million property listing. I mean, or a buyer lead. Just so crazy that, yep, it works. It might take a little while, but it works.
And it may not take you know, I think the
then again, it may not. Yep.
I tell people when I'm talking to them all the time, because I talk to people about, I need leads. I say, you got to get into Karen's course, especially if you're in a small town when nobody's doing this stuff. Nobody's doing this kind of stuff. Not even the follow-up, not the landing pages, not Facebook, not Messenger, definitely not YouTube. You could take over. You know, when I say smaller, I live in the 5th largest city in the country. It's a pain in the patootie over here. It's terrible. So anyway, we're just telling you, we're agents teaching you, and we have been there. We've lived it. We know exactly what you're going through, and we can help you through all of this. So what we want you to do is think of the big picture. How much time and money and energy are you spending now to do what you're doing? And you're overwhelmed. You don't know what you're doing. You can't get it all figured out. We're here to get you from this point to this point all the way through. There's going to be work involved though. So don't come in and preach at me, Patty, I don't want to listen to these trainings. I'm saying, if you don't want to listen to the trainings, then my CRM is not for you. I'm not going to lie. It's not, because I'm teaching you this stuff. If you want to learn it, you'll get it. I promise you. I go live in my groups twice a week, Monday for my Jumpstart, and on Thursday in the group like this where we do a Q&A. So I just want to spend a few more minutes to maybe answer any questions that are here. Did you see anything? Because I haven't been looking down here.
I was trying to catch them, and most of them were about, do you make drip campaigns for other CRMs? There was a question for somebody who's already one of your customers on the lower plan. Is there anything
they can upgrade?
Upgrades, okay, to the higher plan.
Just contact support at ENGAGEMORECRM.com.
Sheila, did
you
hear that?
If you are new and have questions, please contact sales at ENGAGEMORE or you have questions about the drip campaigns that I sell, if you want to build them in your own system. Yes, Grace, you are absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just telling Grace she is absolutely right. Unfortunately or fortunately was one of the reasons why they pushed me out the door. I never worked for them, but they pushed me out the door in the extent that I just felt like it was time, and I was like, oh, thank God, right? So, but it's a mess, unfortunately.
Got it. And then Chip said, I have a very special, very specific specialty. He works in probate. How would these work for me? So I don't know if you have any landing pages that are made specifically for the probate niche, but you can build your own landing pages.
Yeah, you can.
ENGAGEMORE. So you would just think, okay, anybody doing probate, this is going to be a listing lead, right? So what do they need to know? If, you know, a loved one has died and left them the house, they've inherited the house, they're going to turn around and sell it. What do they need? You're going to create your lead magnet based on whatever it is. Maybe it's a 10-step checklist.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was just going to say.
Putting the house on the market when you live in another state, whatever it's going to be, you make your landing page. And Patty has all these templates. It would be just pick one of the templates and then change the text on the page.
Absolutely. By the way, I just had a chat with a very good friend of both of ours, Michelle B., who said she would work with me to create a probate follow-up campaign.
And yep, I was just
she's got a course, by the way, for anyone who wants to do probate, which I told her the exchange would be, I'm going to put her course because she's great. Another friend I have never met in person but love her dearly. So we're going to put together a probate follow-up drip campaign, and then her course will be in there too. But the landing page idea, I can get in there and probably build something like that, as long as you guys have something to download. Because I don't know much about probate myself, other than I worked in the attorney world. But let's see, blah, blah, blah. Good training, good training. Anything else? Any other questions? We want to make sure we're cutting. I don't know what happened with the blurriness. I don't know. I was fine on
I
my
didn't
end.
see any blurry at all.
I
Sorry,
didn't either.
y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, KV Core. So here's the deal in KV Core. I didn't build everything up in there. We cannot share campaigns unless you're on my team here in Scottsdale, you guys. So that was unfortunate because I really wanted to. I do have a group over there, by the way, if you haven't seen it, called Drip Campaign, CRM and Drip Campaign Mastery over there in Workplace. But so the problem is you can't do it. But I do have them in Word, and we do offer a package where we can build you 5 campaigns, a buyer and a buyer re-engagement, a seller and a seller re-engagement, and a sphere campaign for you over there. I really only focus on the campaign part of this. So if you're asking me to set up everything for you, I just can't handle all of that. So my staff will help build, my amazing support team, Chris, and will help us build these in the back for you, but we do have that. Will the campaign, they can integrate with Wise Agent, yeah. Wise Agent, by the way, is 20 minutes down the road from me, which I think is interesting. Thank you, Pam Roberts. You're amazing. Yes, Lion Desk. Okay, so my campaigns were in Lion Desk. Here's what happened. I can't share them anymore easily because they took away my access to have version 1. So I don't think you can share them in version 2 currently. I haven't been able to figure it out. So I am in version 2 over there, but I'm not in version 1. So I have to rig up a way to get them over to you, but it's not actually my funnest project. So I'm just letting you know. So I can't get them in. If you're in version 2, the recurring thing doesn't work and the scheduling doesn't work based on dates. So just FYI on that. So you're not going to be able to have that. And plus, the other thing you guys will miss if you aren't able to come into my CRM is all the video campaigns that I have, and we're going to build out 5 years worth of holiday video. We already have 1 year in there. By the end of the year, we're going to have another 4 years of video. So then you can just restart it or just pick out whichever campaign you want. We also have a COVID campaign. I call it the COVID campaign, but it's really the comedy relief campaign that I built during the height of the COVID here, because we were locked down pretty heavily. I built these videos that will go every week. It's built, and it's just fun little jokes. That's it. It's just, real estate on the lighter side, basically, from your real estate agent. It's just not even real estate. So anyway, all right, cool. Anything else? Did we cover everything? I don't know.
You didn't actually give the pricing for your program, and people are asking about the pricing. You want to go over that?
Oh, well, you guys go to my site. It's $99 a month for the full level if you want it. If you want it, you get 3 months off if you use this coupon code. So right now, if you go to the site, it's $990 for the entire year, but I'm going to give you another month off. So it's going to be $891, I think. So you'll get an extra month off if you pay the whole year right now, right? If you don't want to do that, just going to go monthly, get in there. You can pick out one of the choices for the monthly. But you're not going to get the coaching sessions if you go into the lower level, which is $69, because I have less content in there too. The most popular by far is the impact level. And again, I want you to think, okay, how many more deals? So my goal is to have you close at least 1 more deal a month, right? Out of your existing database and out of what you're going to create here. If I can get you to close 1 more deal a month, it's a slam dunk, right? Because you're automating, you're not having to build all this stuff. Most people will do more than that. I can tell you at the height of the market with my campaigns, I say at the height of the market, it was actually 2006, so we were heading down. In December of 2006, I had 10 deals under contract, right? So it is a numbers game, but I was working my butt off, but it was all because of my drip campaigns and my follow-up plan. If I There's just no way, you know, my kids were ready to divorce me right away. I was lucky I got married the second time. Our first date, I was picking the phone up every 10 minutes. He was ready to kill me. We were golfing too, which wasn't good. All right, so I am so glad you guys made it. You guys go check it out at the site. Everything you need is there. Just make sure you got that coupon code for both of us. Same code, so it's not too hard to remember. And Karin, you are the best. You rock, baby. I cannot wait until two tall girls can get together and give each other a big hug.
I know. Fun fact, I'm 6 feet tall and Patty, you're what, like 5'10" and 10, 11?
10, 11, yeah. And both of us are former singers too, which was so hilarious. We had a lot in common.
I know, we do. And I lived in Michigan too. Where did you live?
I was in Oakland County in Oxford. I graduated high school there.
I graduated in Farmington Hills.
Oh my God. I know, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's a very small world when you're really
I know, it certainly
is. But you tend to connect with the people that you really, you know, you're getting it, right? We're all getting it, we're all connecting. And that's what all these people in this group are. And I want to thank everybody who showed up and all the people that came in live. It was amazing. So anything else for the cause?
I just wanted to say, I think it's amazing for those people that don't consider themselves to be super tech savvy, that you include the landing pages, because if you don't own your own website and you don't have a way to make landing pages and make these offers, yes, you can go out there and try to, as we say, Bubba and Skeeter it all together. And then you have all these different pieces that you're trying to tape together with duct tape, and something always breaks. And then it doesn't work. If you're doing it all inside ENGAGEMORE, there's nothing to break. Like, it's all in the same system. You make the landing.
You're not using Zapier. You don't need to hook it up. All you do is go in and pick out the landing page you want. The other thing inside there is I've got open house questionnaires too. So you don't need like have people come in, have them fill it out on your iPad. It loads in immediately. I've got an open house campaign. You just tell it, get in there a little early, record a quick thank you for showing up at my open house video, throw it into the first email template. Oh my God, you don't have to create this, right? And if you have your own leads, whatever they are that you want to, just take a great buyer campaign or a great seller campaign I have, clone it, and just edit the first couple things out of there. I show you how to do this, you guys. It's easy, and you don't have to reinvent a wheel. Nobody likes this stuff except me, because I'm weird, but.
And Patty and I are not spring chickens, and if we can learn this stuff, you can learn this stuff.
We're both in the gray hair mode. Yes. We're letting it go, baby.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, we can, and they can, but there's work, right? I'm warning you, there's work, but if you get in and get through it, you can go through all of my Jumpstart training in one afternoon, you know, so, and I show you how to clean up your database and get it in here too, and make sure that you turn on a re-engagement campaign, it's ready to rock. So anyway, it's been amazing. Karin, thank you so much. And I wish
thank you for
everyone luck, no matter what you're doing. I wish everybody luck, and I want you all to have a successful fall season and close some deals before all the houses go away.
That's right.
And hopefully this market will stay like it is, at least with regard to the interest rates. I'm not sure about the listings and what's going to happen after the election, but we do what we do. So
whatever you do, whatever you decide, just imperfect action is better than no action at all. Do something.
Yes, exactly. If you have any questions at all, in my case, send them over to sales@engagemorecrm.com, please. And for Karin.
And if you have any questions for me, you can email info@youtubeforagents.com.
Love it. All right. All right. Well, I think that does it. I hope you all had a great day. Go out and have another great evening. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for attending, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.